How's it going, everybody? This is Ray with the Houston Film Fanatics and Sunny 99.1, and I've got two very, very special guests here with me today. Coming right now, courtesy of Broadway at the Hobby Center, is the fantastic show Come From Away, and you both play a very, very big part of the show, but in kind of very different ways. So I'd like you guys to each introduce yourself for everybody, so we can kind of get a feel for who you are.
Well, I'm the former mayor of Gander, Newfoundland, where all the planes landed during 9/11. We had 38 planes, and we had almost 7,000 passengers for 5 days.
And you were the actual mayor, like, at the time?
At the time I was.
All right, and would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Kevin Carolan, and I play several different characters in the show, including this gentleman right here.
Now, I don't think we've ever had this happen before, where the person that we're interviewing, the person that they're portraying, is here with us today.
And this is the first time that I've ever gotten to meet somebody that I'm playing.
Wow.
So it's very unique for me as well right now.
So have you gotten to see the performance with him taking on your role in the show?
Yeah, I've seen about 12 times.
All right.
At least 12 with Kevin.
He has not given me any notes yet.
No.
Does it add to your nerves a little bit, knowing that the gentleman who you're portraying is out there in the audience?
Maybe the first time I was thinking about it, it was on my mind, but after that, I mean, and plus you can't really spend a whole lot of time thinking about it because there's probably about another 2,200 people that I have to consider when I'm doing my job.
That's only a polite thing to do, absolutely.
That's right.
Well, this is such a heartfelt and passionate show. I mean, of course, obviously 9/11 affected so many people in so many different ways. How do you both feel that Come From Away really encapsulates what happened in the days after 9/11?
Well, I think from what I'm seeing and been traveling around, I've seen the show 77 times. And, talking to people, and that I think what's coming through is the human kindness and the generosity that people were shown during that terrible time. And I think right today, in our world that we live in today, it seems like that's what's missing, is a lot of compassion and kindness. And I think that people are grabbing onto this story for that reason, saying, hey, that's what we need to, this is what the world needs. And I think that from our perspective, it's what we live every day, but we're willing to share that with the world, and if we can change it, then it would be a job well done.
Yeah. What I find is that this show encapsulates that feeling that so many people will remember of those days after, when everybody was a little kinder, everybody was a little more considerate. And this show specifically brings that into hyper-focus, and I really think that everybody walks away with a great sense of memory of that, and hopefully can kind of continue it forward.
Well, I find it so interesting because in the show you see that the residents of Gander, they opened up their homes, they were offering food, clothes. I mean, I heard that you were offering up your car to people to be used. And I mean, it's amazing seeing the best of humanity coming out, and that's really what you get with this show. As far as, like, how have things changed in particular in Gander since the show came out?
Well, I don't think that we have changed very much. We are what we call a unique group of people. We enjoy life. We live on a highland. It has some harsh weathers and some harsh conditions there at times, but we have probably some of the warmest and gentlest people in the world, and for that, we're thankful for that. So the only thing has changed us after 9/11, when we had 7,000 people from 95 countries, and you're listening to stories and listening to it. I think we have a better appreciation of where we live today than probably prior to it. And we should never take this freedom and this great lifestyle we have for granted, because in the world we live today, an attack can happen in Gander as well as it can in New York or even Chicago or the big cities, or even in Houston or anywhere. But we're more unlikely to have it happen than here, but it can. So let's enjoy what we got and don't take our lives for granted, because what we've got other people would like to have.
Yeah. And with the little bit of help from Come From Away, tourism in Gander is way up.
That I do believe. One of the things that is really catchy about the show is, of course, the music. The music is such a huge part of the show. How much of the music do you feel really, kind of exemplifies Gander? And for you, what do you feel about the music? Do you have a favorite number that you like performing? Because, man, I was jamming this soundtrack really, really hard. Which, yeah, I mean, it's a good soundtrack. It's fun.
There's such a great feeling of, I'm Irish, and there's a very, very big component of that feeling, of that Celtic kind of music. You know, you got the bodhrán, you got the fiddles and the flutes, and that gets to me immediately. You know, but although I haven't actually made the trip to Gander yet, I feel like I have because I hear the music.
Well, music is a big part of our life. It always has been. The musicians in Newfoundland, but it's mostly Irish, country and western, and some of the younger kids now are more into the Justin Biebers of the world, but not our generation. So music has been a huge part of our culture and our life. And when you listen to the music, when you see the accordion, the violin, and everybody comes out, it just pumps you up, because that's the way we live. That is us. There's no question about it.
Of course, you lived this experience. This is your life, from that brief period that's shown up on the stage. Kevin, for you, when you were reading this script, or even the first time that you saw this show, what's going through your mind? Because, I mean, I read that you grew up, or you were born in the Bronx, you grew up in Jersey, so, yeah. I mean, New York is just like hop, skip, and a jump, like right there.
Yes.
So.
And I was, at least as the crow flies, maybe about, 20 miles away from ground zero where I was. But my father had read When the World Came to Town, which is one of the first books that came out about what happened in Gander. And so I had read that and of course was just blown away by the heart and the compassion. And when I found out that there was a musical that was being staged for it, I didn't do any extra work on my own. I just kind of put it out to the universe that would probably be something really, really cool. And as it turns out, I did get to audition for the show before they ever went to Broadway. And I sang the Stop the World number, and I read for 3 other characters in the show, 2 others besides Claude. And it didn't work out that way for me to do it then. But then I saw the show on Broadway, and it just invigorated me even more, and I just knew I wanted to be a part of it. So when the tour came and all the puzzle pieces fell into place, and here I am.
Well, the show runs 100 minutes long, and there's no intermission. Is there a reason for no intermission?
I don't know. I guess so. I think that when the writers wrote it, I think they didn't want to lose the momentum. And I think that this type of musical I think if there was an intermission part of the way through, you would lose that momentum trying to get back up. And I think that's why, the writers would know better than I would why they did it. But it works, and I don't think it would have the same effect if it was an intermission.
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, the show is staged in such a way that we really don't give the audience that many opportunities for an applause break in the show. I mean, we really just kind of go from number to number, and there's, of course, a couple of buttons that we have to hit that let it out a little bit. But we really try and keep everybody with us on this very fast-moving vehicle for 100 minutes, and then we let you go. There's a release, and then there's also a little jam session with the band at the end as well.
I like that. Well, again, I like to end with this question: why do people in Houston need to come and see Come From Away?
Oh gosh, because it will definitely brighten their mood, for certain. It's just a great warm feeling to be able to experience it. And I really love the people who get to come and see the show and have almost no experience of what they're about to see. They're my favorite kind of audience member. So if you know nothing about the show, come on over, we'll get you.
Well, I think last night at the show and talking to people after, I think the one thing that people keep saying why they need to see the show is to see the kindness and see we need to be more like that. And I think people will leave the show in Houston going away thinking, I can be a little bit better. I can, do things to make life a bit better. And kindness and generosity and goodwill will outdo evil at any time. There's no question.
Well, there you have it, guys. I could not have said that any better. Come and check out Come From Away. It is playing at the Hobby Center now through March 8th. Tickets are available at BroadwayAtTheHobbyCenter.com. Gentlemen, thank you both so much for talking with us today.
Pleasure.
Once again, guys, this has been Ray with the Houston Film Fanatics, Sunny 99.1, and we will catch you guys next time.